They had it on the news.
Okay, that's what's up. Morning, everybody. We're talking about clothing right now. I'm sorry. So that's where you all came in at. So he has on his jersey. I bought him a jersey as well. There
Yeah.
you go. And I have the other color scheme in honor of him, just like I honored Rodney on Father's Day. He got his. Well, obviously I was there, so Rodney got his before then. It was crazy. I apologize profusely to Brother Barry. I just did not get his out on time, so he couldn't get it until later.
Oh no,
But when he got it,
it was delayed greatness, and sometimes greatness delayed is best.
there you go. Right? He was very much happy about it. So it is what it is. So this week, obviously, it's the nation's 250th birthday. We will talk about that. There's no way around it. Uh, Not that it's a bad thing, but not the greatest either for black folks. So we'll talk about that. The jobs report came out. It was abysmal. It was fucking horrible. Let's be clear about that. And the Supreme Court made some decisions this week on Tuesday. Tuesday ended up their session. And well, the biggest part of the docket, because they didn't officially go out until Thursday, but Tuesday they made some huge landmark decisions. One of them being the 14th Amendment. If you're not familiar, we'll go into that a little later as well. Start off. Again, I want to thank everybody for the well wishes, the get well, so on and so forth. I had a very simple procedure. I have been back up and running my mouth, as you all saw last Saturday, since last Saturday. Now, it's gotten better. As you can see, I'm breathing through my nose, talking through my mouth. So I can talk a hell of a lot more than I was able to last week, right? Nowhere near as much pain. There's always pain whenever someone goes in and operates on your ass. So there was some pain. It's not as much pain going on right now. However, I'm still very thankful, very grateful for all the well wishes and whatnot. It does definitely feel better. I'm a little irritated because they did the left nostril, which 100% needed to be done, and they don't. I don't think they touched the right one, and I think they should have done a little bit at least to the right one because it's a huge difference now. Like when I breathe, I can feel everything go up this mug, and this one is like, not so much, not so much. So. I go back to them at the end of the month, and if they need to do a little tweak or whatever, I may go in for a little tweak to make that happen. But the biggest issue is and was I wasn't breathing well at all, like at all, and it wasn't the thing where it was going to take me out, but it just didn't. It wasn't good. It wasn't. It didn't help me sleep. So this should help me sleep. And before you motherfuckers get into this, oh, is it going to help you snoring? First off, you need to mind your goddamn business because yes, I snore, but you don't need to know all that shit. But no, it's not about helping with the snoring. It really is about just allowing me to breathe more comfortably. Period. You know, I got this huge damn honker, if you will, and it was not doing its due diligence at all because this side was restricted big time. But neither here nor there. Um, it's hot. I went out and cut my. I was off yesterday. Went out and cut my grass yesterday morning, and I think I went out around 8. I believe I went out around 8. And I got smart. So I bought a lawnmower. My lawnmower is battery powered electric. Smooth. I love it. Absolutely freaking love it. I went and bought an extra set of batteries, though. Yes, I said batteries, mother. Yes, batteries. I went out and bought an extra set of batteries because it. I have a nice piece of grass, and it was dying on me pretty much through about 3 quarters of it and stuff. So I went and bought another set. So yesterday I go out and everything's going well. It dies on me again because I cut a little bit more than I usually cut. I really do need to talk to my neighbor. So hopefully I will hear or see him out today, tomorrow, or whatever, and get at him and see what we want to call my line, his line, so on and so forth. Because I did go a little further, much well, not a little, much further than I've ever gone in the past. Well, anyhow, long story short, it's a little patch in the back I still need to cut. I got a whole damn forest back that motherfucker. it will be okay. You understand what I'm saying? It will be okay. But I say all that because I was tired. I was tired as hell yesterday after cutting that grass. I was like, good lord. It's been raining down here. I'm in Atlanta. It's been raining down here as well, so the grass was wet. It made it a little more difficult to cut. It's not as smooth as a cut, not as easy to cut. I'm slipping, sliding, all kinds of shit. I didn't fall. No, I did not. But still, out there cutting all that. It's hot in hell. I hope that you all are staying hydrated this weekend, regardless of what you're doing, because it's hot. I mean, it's hot out that mug. And I know Vegas has that dry heat, and that will fool your ass. But you still need to stay hydrated in that. Water is the most beautiful, obviously, but don't forget a Gatorade or a Powerade every now and again. Get them electrolytes, get that salt back into your system. Sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, something. Get that salt back in your body. You need it. Me not cooking with salt directly, I use salt-free seasonings and stuff like that. Definitely, I know I need to make sure I keep my salt balance going on because it's a vital part of your system. So you definitely the scientist is on Rashi can break that all down to for us
You won't live
molecular.
without it, baby. You
Crazy.
won't live with too much, and you won't make it without it. It's a delicate balance.
No, I'm laughing because Jamar says, "Yeah, I'm staying hydrated, Lee." You know what I'm talking? Yes, Jamar, I know what you're talking about, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't do none of that no more. But you know what I mean? I don't do that no more.
Well, you
I don't
sound
roll.
fantastic. How your adenoid? I mean, how's your palate going? You sound really good.
Yes,
You don't sound like Bruce no more.
thank you.
You know how big niggas sound. Big niggas be
Yes,
they be like gug, gug.
yes.
So
Because
you
I was very nasally. I was breathing and talking out of my mouth at the same time. That's not a good thing at all. I'm definitely 100% back to nose breathing, and I'm definitely feeling better. I'm the pain medicine they recommended every 6 hours. I was pretty much on that 6 hour kick. Now
I
I'm
mean,
doing maybe
you
once a
got any
day.
left? Hey, how hard? Just for shits and giggles, how high did they kick you up on the pain meter?
No, no,
They didn't send you home with no
no,
fucking
no.
what they send you home with, bro.
Regular
This
shit,
is
aspirin and ibuprofen. That was it.
oh man, they didn't give you
Yeah,
none of the good shit. I
no,
can't,
none.
boy. Let me
I
tell
told
you.
you this is a very simple procedure. It was nothing over the top. It was very simple. I don't. Maybe it's because my personality. Maybe because I don't share enough, possibly. But people are like, "Yo, you all right, man? I'm fine. Like, I, I am absolutely fine." The gauze were just that. It was just to catch the drips and the drops. I'm good. You know, I'm definitely feeling better.
Don't
I'm
let
definitely sleeping
don't
better.
let them send you home no more without some perk 30s, man.
Nah, I don't need none of that in my life. I told him specifically. I was like, "Yo, I don't
They
want
not for you to
nothing."
eat. They for you to. Never mind.
Yeah,
So,
whatever.
so this is you. I need you to say something to these people. There was something wrong with you that wasn't your penis, and you did something about it. You hear what I
Absolutely,
did? You hear what I just said? You're a
yeah, absolutely.
man, and it wasn't the loss of sight or limb, and it wasn't your penis, and you still addressed it in the medical
Yes,
field. I mean, because people don't hear what I'm saying.
I understand what you.
Men lay up there and let them. They be done cut their legs off. They talked. They be done. Lost an eye from macular or eyes from macular degeneration. They die in their sleep from apnea. Right? They refuse to
Mhm.
get the CPAP machine. They refuse to do even one sit up that ain't them leaning up into some coochie. They won't address the imminent illness and death in the room.
Why do we always say it about black men like that though?
Because I'm telling you I'm
Oh
not
wait,
talking about a character analysis.
but
I'm talking about statistical.
Yeah,
evaluation. They
but,
don't want to go. And I know why. It's some shit going down at the hospital. I'm not going to argue with you. There's an influx of what they call nosocomial infections, where you get the disease from the hospital. There's also an issue with, like I was talking to him earlier, pain. There's, how to alleviate pain and how much pain should be alleviated with Black people. There's a respect issue based on how you dressed and how you smell. But what I was trying to tell the average man is that's it. That's why we don't. That's why they got them high numbers and we
but y'all
don't.
saying
Because
I'm
when the
still,
shit go awry,
but y'all
y'all
saying
be sitting in there trying to man up. But the human needs to go up his ass up in the hospital or clinic and figure out why his stomach always, why his stomach hurt like that. And
so,
he think he ate something bad 37 days in a row. No, it's something wrong and they won't go.
well, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Are we correct? And 1 plus 3 equals
Well, yeah.
1 plus 3 equals 4, right? I just want to get to the math here. Five minus
Yes.
1 equals 4.
Yes.
4 plus 0 equals 4. Now, Black women are dying at higher rates inside of childbirth. Am I correct?
Yes.
Where are they dying at? At the hospital?
At the hospital. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Black women are also contracting higher HIV. Don't y'all go to the doctors all the time? Y'all also contract a lot of high rates of cancer as well. Don't y'all go to the doctors all the time? The point of what I'm trying to say here is whether you go to the doctor or not, if you're Black, you're dying. And you're still gonna get the foe. And so sometimes I think I like where you're going, but the idea that the only time the Black men care about is our penis, like this idea that we're always simplifying and breaking brothers down to like this just moronic aspect of who we are. We're a lot more than just our dicks. And sometimes we got to move past that. Now the white man,
I got the same argument. Definitely. Now go check on something other than your dick.
but no, that's not what I'm saying. Because the white man, he built everything in the aspect of his phallus, from the missile to the gun to the cigarette to etc. And we never talk about him in that aspect. It's just when you go to medical facilities, Black folks don't always get the proper diagnosis. And this is not something that I'm saying. I was sitting on a panel with a Black doctor who was saying the exact same thing. How we talk about our people and obesity all the time. The fact of the matter, the food is just not good. But we don't want to talk about that. So it's easier for us to talk shit about each other. I mean, listen, it's the 250th anniversary of this country. And I know everybody's like, yo, I'm not celebrating the whole nine, but Christmas Addicts is the one that kicked this shit off.
First
And
person to die.
we forget that a lot. We forget that we fought in every war possible. We forget the fact that when we was fighting inside of the uh, um, the Revolutionary War, we forget the fact that the Germans were not here yet. We forgot that the Jews were not here yet. So there was no Stephen Miller. His ancestors were not here yet. Donald Trump's ancestors were not here yet. It was us. Neither one of them are British. I'm just saying, it's certain things that I feel like we allow them to have. We allow them to have that space as if they're more in tune with their body, as if they're more intellectualized, that they're more you know integral. And sometimes we just got to be able to say the fact of the matter is that even if you do go to the hospital, and I've asked doctors all the time, and I make sure because I was married to a nurse. I ask all the time, am I getting the Black diagnosis or I'm getting the white diagnosis? Because I know that they don't always tell us what's really wrong with us, no matter whether you go or not. And so I hear what you're saying, Rashi, and I understand that. But I just, sometimes I would say, especially as a Black man in this country, that the things that we pass over as jokes consistently about us, I'm watching it play out in real time. I'm watching Life-R.E.A.L get her ass chewed out just because she said, hey, yo, why we got to sing that song? And the same people who say they're mad at patriarchy, they don't mind singing that Young Miami song. I had a mother who went to prison for boosting. I know what that's like to have your mother without a summer. It's not a joke. And everything is just a joke. and everything is cool when everybody else was doing. But when we had y'all shaking ass in video, oh, we was objectifying you. Don't let Nelly slide that credit card between that ass crack. Oh no, no, no. You can't go to North Carolina A&T. But when the lesbians have y'all doing it, it's okay. It's empowering. And that's what I'm saying as a black man. It's just constantly this dribbling. Like at some point, we got to be able to talk about each other, black men and black women, at a higher level. We are a lot more than what the circumstances that happen to us in this country. These crackers just don't treat us right.
As I went through, and to Rashi's point, this whole process, one of the things that I continued to do was advocate for myself because the initial thing was, well, just take this medication. I was like, okay, I got you. So I'm gonna play your game, but what's the next thing? If this doesn't work, and Doc said, well, we can do a in clinic procedure or we can do surgery. So my initial was, let's do surgery because I can only imagine how painful this clinical procedure is going to be. This isn't the first time that the VA or the military has messed with my nose. So I was like, yeah, I've been through this shit before. It don't wind up well in the clinic. Let's do surgery. He's like, well, let's try the medication first, and then we'll go. That's okay. So I did the medication piece. Obviously, it didn't work. He goes, he says, okay, well, you already said you don't want to do the clinical piece, so we'll set you for surgery. I said, no problem. This was back in, so this is June, right? Well, this is July now, but I had the procedure in June. Hell, I think I've been scheduled for surgery for about 3 months, and I was not going to wait. As a veteran, you have the option to do community care, which means you can go to a local hospital and they can do the same thing if they can get you in faster. Because of the job situation, I was moving around. It just didn't make sense. I was like, well, fuck it. By the time that all settled down, I was like, well, I'll just wait. And it didn't take too long. So I'm cool with that. But as a 50-year-old man, I do understand, Rashi, that it's important to take care of myself as best as I could possibly take care of myself. Um, I also understand that I have to be my biggest advocate. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay because I know I need to do better, feel better in order for me to be better. And I try to do that as best as I can, as often as I can.
I
There are
mean,
situations.
you're right, Brother Barry, though. You right, Lee, because black women, when we get our real care, Brother Lee, is around pregnancy. Like when do women mostly go to the doctor? Before, during, and after they have given birth. And the last one is when something like they have had an extra period or their vagina is itchy beyond their own personal repair. Like, yes, we don't trust medical America because medical America has done some egregious in fact they will say that there really is no medical procedure up until, say, the early 1900s that wasn't actually tested out on Black people.
Mm.
From C-sections to what is a speculum to how to do the IV, whether or not blood can be mixed, and all that was tested out. Not to even mention afterwards that whole Tuskegee
Airman.
syphilis,
Oh, that one?
the syphilis epidemic. So, um, yes, Thomas, I hear you. It ain't right. But guess how you make it right? You make it right when you make them motherfuckers. Oh, thank you so much, sir. Have a good evening. You make it right when you go and you go in there and you.
Wait,
I
wait,
It's
had
the
to,
shit at the damn liquor store. It's
baby.
you
I
at the
had to.
liquor store
I
right
had to.
now.
I had to get something delivered real quick. You don't want to worry about that. Don't worry about that. Um,
Did you just thank the weed man?
it.
Jeez.
You know what?
Yep.
Anyway.
Take the weed.
Anyway.
Thank the
Hey, hey, I'm a teacher on furlough, brother. Don't do me like that. I'm a teacher on furlough. They don't care. Anyway, let me move on. Yes, Thomas, I hear you, brother. But how do you, like any system, frequency, frequency fixes wayward systems. Let me say that right. Let me do it right. because I'm somewhat of a mathematician. You don't know about my shit. I had slept through Calc 2. Here we go. The more you use a system, the more you normalize it. Will you agree, Brother Barry?
Not this system. I disagree.
You don't think that us even going and them being, because we making strides. Let me tell you some of the strides we done made. When they put that thing on your hand to see if your oxygen levels is right, they
Oh,
know
sorry.
that. They know post-hoc ain't right. They know post-hoc can't penetrate melanated tissue. And so they are actively right now recalibrating post-hoc, technology to accommodate the fact that it cannot penetrate melanated skin. You want to know where the real work is being done in dermatological, because they know blacks melanated skin and non-melanated skin behave differently, damn near virtually to everything. And so we are normalizing medicine in our usage of medicine, is what I'm trying to tell you. You may not believe it yet. It may not be a revelation in your lifetime, but I'm telling you that it is true. And
No,
Okay.
so,
what I'm
and so you gotta go, because the black male, especially the rural, meaning agricultural black man, the industrial black man, is the least represented in how disease and illness manifests itself in that strata. And so if you don't go as a black man with cortisol levels 2 and 3 times what it's supposed to be, if you don't go as an addicted black person, if you don't go as a sickle cell black person, then they don't even know what the fuck to do. Like, medical knowledge doesn't know what to do. Not just how to harm you, but what this thing even is, how to classify it before they weaponize it. So what you gotta go so that the knowledge can be manifested. I don't know, Brother Barry, but I'm kind of, as far as medicine and science is concerned, I'm open. I'm out there like that.
You got your medicine right now. I mean, look.
She just got a script 11.
Hey, Barry, quit playing before I get to telling.
Hey, but
Oh shit.
but
That was on time.
but I would say this, Rashi. Truth is, honestly, they know a lot more about us, and they've experimented on us more than any other group. What I mean by that is, until we start creating our own particular systems ourselves, producing more doctors, more nurses, more X-ray techs, scientists, etc., then we're going to be in this quagmire called the American healthcare system, because it's not to make us better. As a matter of fact, they're going to make more money off us being sick and testing our immune system out to see how further they can stress us. Does not mean that you should not go, but it also does not mean that because we go more frequently, it's going to get better, because the ultimate goal is to make more money, i.e., why are you spending $2,500 for an X-ray or MRI when it's only $350 at some of these other smaller clinics? Why? Because they're practicing to make more dollars and not
Yes,
necessarily solve. So
call it.
so I don't think the frequency of it is going to make it better. I just think us being in more control and being more controlled environments with our own health is going to make us
But
better.
see, that's it, Brother Barry. That's the reparation. That's the medical subsection of our reparations packet, because they already know that we are in a substrata, socioeconomically. What we do is we have our own road, because they'll roll that shit over. They'll put the government, they'll write out. I ain't never paid for a motherfucking MRI, so somebody paid. So they'll roll it over for you if you qualify under the reparations package for the rolled over medical thing. It's Medicaid. All black people get Medicare or whatever, Medicaid. And so when you process our medical package right under reparations, part of it, Brother Barry, will be going to the doctor without fear of financial bankruptcy.
No, I hear what you're saying, but hear what I'm saying. I'm saying we have to become I'll go back to Dr. Tommy Curry's man not. We have to become more mature in the situation where we are creating the institutions that we are frequenting for our healthcare. I'm not saying you should not go. I'm not saying you should go. I think you should be smart. Like if you got healthcare, use it. Like I would go all the time. If I got insurance, if I got, anything that's covering anywhere, especially if you got anything that's covering 100%, you got a low pay for your copay, man, you better have a clean bill of health. That's one thing. But I can't forget that a lot of our people are impoverished. So, when you're poor, you can't necessarily always, especially under this administration, afford health care. Salute the leader.
Or good food, which
Or,
health starts at home in the kitchen.
But I don't think you get when you poor, that's when you can afford it. You
no,
take
no,
that
no, no,
red card.
not under this administration with the changes that they've made. They made changes to where you got to go work 80 hours a week. And most poor people, if you look at we're gonna talk about the jobs report, they ain't producing enough jobs that's going to allow you to be able to afford the health care that we're talking about. Because you might have to choose whether that migraine where you might just try to see if you can get some over the counter medicine compared to going in and making sure it's not something going on inside of your head. You got to choose that because at the end of the day, that copay may be the difference between your lights being on and being off. The copay, listen, everything we got right now is going by Wi-Fi. You got to pay an internet bill. That wasn't something that the internet bill wasn't a bill inside of the 80s or the 90s that was unnecessary. Cable is crazy. Even if you got the streaming systems, you're still gonna pay over $100 something. I thought that they said we were going cheaper. When you look at Netflix, my Netflix is $40. My Hulu is $90. Shoot, then I got all the other joints. I add all them up, man. I'm probably still paying more than what I would pay if I had
Hey
direct.
man, just watch the damn commercials, man. Take that damn thing.
But my point is, all of the
Damn.
stuff that you can think about what people are going through, adding your cell phone bill, and then adding your car insurance that's constantly going up, adding all of these your rental insurance, your homeowners insurance, adding all of these things, and you got a group of people that rather be single and then commingle because it's your peace of mind. Like we're stressed out for paying bills, but our peace of mind is what I'm still trying to figure out. But like I said again, 2 + 2 = 4. No matter how you get to it, it's 4. And even when we're going to the doctor, we're still not getting properly diagnosed. And so, but I salute Lee, and that's a good thing about again being in the military. Maybe I should have been doing that than running the streets. If I was
It's
no,
the same thing.
no,
You
I mean,
still get shot at regardless. It's
yeah, I
the
mean,
same.
I got shot twice, so I mean, goddamn, I was taking the risk. I might as well got the benefits,
You might as well got the paper for it, right?
and the free travel, right? If I'm gonna have
Yeah.
that shit, you got to deal with the jump out boys and all that. I might as well went on ahead and did ROTC. So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, when you take a look at all of that, you know, it's just really the same thing. And I just hope that we understand that it's not always us. And like I said, the last doctor I talked to, man, I did a panel with during the week of George Floyd, and that was one of the things that she was talking about, like just being working service in North Minneapolis, where a lot of impoverished people are. And she was saying a lot of stuff that we point fingers at our community about, like is really stuff that they can't really help because it's in the environment where there's food deserts, the environment where you're overly stressed, the environment where you're over inundated with sounds, the environment, and this is where we're living at, and it's normalized in our community. Because when you move out to the burbs, with Lee out talking about cutting grass out there past his neighbor's line, right? You know, at that point right
I'm
there,
still hood, son. I'm still hood.
hey, listen, I'm on the burbs too. I don't mind. I got, I got white neighbors to the right and left and across the street. It's whiter than white out here. But but the fact of the matter is that in the city, it's too much hustle and bustle. Our brain never gets a chance to rest. That's why we so high anxiety. That's why PTSD is so rampant around there.
That's right, Brother Barry. And whoever gonna make that money in the future is gonna be dealing with cortisol levels. Whoever can get us to deal with the American base level cortisol is going to actually probably save this country because that's why we so hypersensitive. That's why our food ain't acting right in our guts. That's why we need all this dope, all this whatever, because we on 10. This country is on 10 all the time. It was burst on 10 and it operates at a on 10 level. And so we think people who try to just pull out and disconnect are weird. Like we think they from another city. Are you from India or something? When they talk Buddhism or anything that get them off of go 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 go. So that is a part of that syndrome, y'all, of why black men they need to go get seen is because black men are part of the go, 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 go syndrome. And we've trying to get in. Black women are actually trying to get in, and it's killing us. It's giving us heart attacks and whatnot. So I don't know. Big up to y'all for being able to maintain go, go, go all this time without spazzing out like we are. But there is something to never shutting that switch down, always having it up, what they call grinding or hustling or getting that bag or
Ain't nobody getting that bag.
huh.
These people ain't getting that bag the way they talk about getting that
You
bag.
know what I'm talking about, though. They chasing the, not getting the bag. They chasing, at least chasing the bag, right?
I mean,
The
people.
bag chase, the grind, the constant hype of who do I contact, who do I negotiate with so I can get to the next level, the level up. And I call it the gamification of life personally, because why are you leveling? You level out. You don't have to level up every time. You're supposed to level out. You're supposed to steady, something's supposed to settle eventually. And if you stay go, 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 while you do achieve good things, you also, it's like a rocket. You burn. You burn.
Lee, can I intersect real quick? Just real quick. I know we're gonna go to another topic, but I would just say this much about the bag chasing culture. I had an opportunity to go and do a demonstration of the app to a woman that's worth $500 million. White lady. Having a conversation with her. And I'm gonna tell you, from everybody that's chasing the bag to a person who really got the bag, it's a different aura, different calmness, a different understanding. And people who really got money, when you listen to them, and I know she probably was like talking to me like, whatever, but you can just tell they're not chasing nothing. The money's being while she sleep. She ain't got to be out about doing everything. And she damn sure ain't gonna be nowhere shaking no ass worth $500 million.
Say that again.
You just don't. You're not when you got money. That's why I don't prescribe to the queen king conversation in our community, because the queen ain't got to shake ass. When you ever seen a queen shake ass? The queen ain't the stripper. The king ain't the gesture neither. He ain't got to tell jokes. He ain't got to perform neither. He got people performing for him. And so being around people who got it, once we start really watching the people who got it and how they move, not what we're seeing on TV, I'm talking about the people in real life. When we start watching how they move, how they eat, how they think, how they respond to each other, how they move in community, if we start emulating that versus these characters we seeing on TV, I think we will have better health and better, because you know what they do? They unplug from everything. They move at their own pace. And it's not because of the money. It's because what they realized already is that I don't need to push sin as quick. Let me think about it, because I might change my mind, and I can afford to change my mind. Just
So
like
is it not though because of the money? The money gives them the opportunity and the space to make better decisions because they're not so pressed to make a decision now. Because they're not, to your point, they're not chasing the bag. They already have the bag.
what
So it's like, okay, how does this decision, right, really resonate? Is it a desperation move? Is it a whimsical move? Am I just on some whimsy shit right now? Do I just want to, oh well, yeah.
yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying? Or like, okay, hold on. Me tying myself to this is going to do this or that for my family.
right.
Which one is really better for me?
No doubt, no doubt. And I will say this. I mean, because money does make a huge dent in it. But I will say the other side of it too, outside of the money, I think it's just the access.
Yo, I remember nigga, when we was kids, dog. I'm talking about young,
You started
you know what I
sounding
mean?
real robotic.
I mean, Lolo, shout out to
I'm
mama.
on mute.
They used to always
No, I'm talking about Thomas.
have the first
That's me.
cousins. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that
So
was you.
sister, they go to the store, people say, no,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was you.
that was you.
You been
Now you
hacked,
on
brother.
mute.
They got so tired of you spitting that fire, they hacked you,
Hey,
brother.
hey, God, son.
Hey, the Russians
Get
got it.
out!
Run the
Get
Chinese
out! Run, Thomas,
got
run!
that nigga. Got him. Hey man, but speaking of that, hey, do you know how many cyber attacks we didn't have this with the world on the move and all that? Let me tell you, I know at least 3 people who Google accounts been hacked.
Oh, that's my boy. No, my bad. That was my iTunes that got clicked on. That's what happened with this technology shit. It be everything's connected. But what I would say though is this though, it's just really about access and just being around people who got access and seeing how they move different and just really thinking about it. Like the one thing I love about this process in the past few years for me is just being able to pull myself outside of stuff and just study stuff again. And I remember I used to date this chick and she would always ask me questions and I would always say, let me get some time, let me think about it. And I would always say, let me think about it. She would always get frustrated. And the reason why I would say let me think about it, because I'm using the adage, it's better to measure twice and cut once, right? Right? Like
Yes,
let me think about it.
yes,
And I think when you got access to certain things, you can think about it more. You don't have to jump in right away. And I do feel like we do suffer from a lot of things because we're just jumping in. And I feel like when you watch our community and you watch a lot of stuff that's happening, like again, we're not really watching what these wealthy people are doing. We're watching what the entertainers in our community who we perceive as wealthy and what they're doing. That's not what they're the people that's making the money off of them. They're not at every club. I heard somebody say this and we can move. I heard somebody say, hey, if you really want to know how wealthy a rapper is, watch how many shows he or she has to do. Because if they always are performing, that means that they're not making money off their record sales. If you watch a actor or actress and they're always in every movie, every small part, big part, large part, that means that they're not making money off of their art. When you see people constantly hustling, bustling, chasing the bag, when you're moving out like that, that means that the money that you're making ain't making money and you're spending it all. And those are the people that we tend when it's all over, we'll sit back and be like, yo, I thought dude had X amount of money. We're gonna talk about all the songs, we're gonna talk about all the movies, we're gonna talk about all the times we've seen them. Well, the reason why we have to see them so much is because they never could really enjoy what it was that they had. All of the presentation of the diamonds, the fancy clothes that they're telling us about, all of these things, man, they're not enjoying no money. Because the rich people who got bread, like I said, the chick worth a half a billy. I didn't see no diamond, nothing on her. I didn't see nothing fancy. I think she had on some casual ass, probably some sheen ass shoes or whatever the fuck it was. But she ain't have nothing to weigh how we front about money. And I think that that's very important when we're talking to our people because even when it translates to our health, basic things, eat more vegetables than you eat steak. Just basic stuff. Vegetables are easy to grow. You can grow your own veggies. Basic stuff. We just got to get to the basics because all the rich people, guess what they still stick with? The basics.
basics. Well, I'm gonna let Rashi get in about her
We said,
quotation or notation about the
Rashi,
cyber attacks. Let me say this real
hi,
quick,
how
Oh
Rashi.
no! Don't worry about it, cause they steady doing it.
Right?
That's a whole show. It's not a notation. Let's move on because them cyber attacks, they coming. And so most people are not seeing it. They buying stuff. World Cup is here buying shit with their international credit cards and they getting raped like a motherfucker. Not to mention, they done went all ahead in Kansas City and put an extra fee just so because they serving quite possibly international customers. That's all it is. And so just let's hope can we I'm like Barry, can I sit there and think about that for a minute? Let me do some reconnaissance work on that because cyber attacks, it's not just it's Google. Google is the one I've seen, and they won't even put out the fucking thing saying they being attacked. Most people, even Microsoft, and them, when they get a hard attack, they say we experiencing technical difficulties. You know, don't nobody ever say the Chinaman's got us, but uh, uh, yeah, if you just be real easy about swiping that card, people, because they're getting them cards. Take your card to the bank and swipe it and pay cash for revert over to cash for now, because when you swipe that card, they not getting it at the card reader, brother Barry. They didn't tapped into the motherfucking code.
Hey,
They didn't
Rashi.
rerouted the code or something.
Hey, Rashi. I think we need to start having events where we don't let people in their door unless they got cash. And the reason why I say that is because if you really watch how everything is happening, going back to the job markets, the whole nine that's on the tab, is because we're not controlling cash, because we're not using cash, because we're so cash app ready, we're so
Apple
Zelle
Pay
ready,
ready.
Apple Pay ready. Like we're digitally mapping out everything that we're doing. And what they're starting to do is they'll say, okay, so Rashi is making pies. Well, we're gonna go ahead and start targeting Rashi for making pies. We're gonna go after Rashi now because we ain't getting a part of that cut. We know Rashi ain't paying taxes on them on them pies. Now we at Rashi. Now I don't know if y'all remember this. I think it was last year. It was a sister who was taking her food stamps and she was flipping the food stamps to make food, and they went after her for food stamp fraud. Do you remember that story? I think it was in Ohio.
I don't remember, but I
I
can
remember,
see
I
how it
remember the
happened. All
story
you gotta,
vaguely.
you buy too much chicken, you buy too much beef, and then you buy right, and it's not a fan, and the purchases don't look like it's for a household. It look commercial or restaurant based, and yeah, yeah,
No,
the receipt to tell, the receipt to tell, yeah.
well, the biggest receipt is what? The Apple Pay to her, the Cash App to her, the Venmo to her, the digital transaction. If she was paying with cash, guess what?
Hold on. Hold
Yeah,
on one second. What the fuck is Venmo? So my baby girl, my goddaughter, she has a candle making business, right? So
yeah,
I tell her the other day, I said, "Hey, baby, I'm running low on my cubes because I use the cubes for the burners to get a house a nice scent and shit."
yeah.
So she goes, all right, pop, just Venmo me." I'm like, "The fuck is that? Why can't it just either Zelle you or Cash App you? Why use Venmo?"
It ain't no
I
difference.
use that
This
shit.
all those name,
I
PayPal,
tried to get it on
Zelle,
the phone,
they're all
and
the same.
it caused me all kinds of problems trying to get on the goddamn phone. So I'm going up there in a couple of weeks. I'm going to see her ass in person, pay her fucking cash, keep it moving. It's too much. I'm too old for this shit. Where the hell does this Venmo shit come
Hey,
from? How's
cause
it not
cause
simple?
Because
That's
if you
how.
your affiliation with some of these apps can and get you incarcerated,
Well,
meaning meaning, please don't pull no 40,000 dollars a month on no app where you don't have a business license or a LLC.
right.
If you don't have an LLC associated with that app, then when they get through running them numbers, nigga, you gonna be in there with Bernie Madoff, wherever his old cell was, because it's trafficking. Motherfucker, ain't nobody finna let you traffic through their app like that. But here's my problem. Guess how they pay for little kids and shit?
Through
Guess how them perverts pay for time with them little kids?
Crypto.
Bitcoin.
Crypto. Yeah.
Bitcoin, crypto. It's the same shit.
No,
Cause
no,
it's
no, no,
this.
no, 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 because crypto and Bitcoin is a little different. Remember, crypto and Bitcoin is on a dark web. They really can't chase the transaction, so it's not sitting in the bank. Cash App and all of this other stuff is coming directly from an account, FDIC backed, whatever the case may be, right? Crypto, like Rashi, you can pretty much go buy illegal guns through crypto. You can buy trafficking. You can buy dope. Like the the mafia all that use that for that reason. But that's also once again talking about a low jobs report. The more Americans invest in crypto and things that you can't track, right? The more crime almost seems to like with human trafficking goes up. The things that you're doing that's harmless, like Marlon said, the lady flipping the food stamps for the cookouts, that's no different than people selling their stamps because they might have a little bit more than what they need, or they're trying to make some extra capital. But I'm like, why would we lock this lady up? Because she's taking the food stamps, she's making food. Is she making more so she can feed her family? Because if she can take $500 in food stamps and make 1,500, why are we saying she wrong?
Mm.
Because at the end of the
Cause she
day,
not cause she not paying, cause after she make 1,500, America want $350 back from the 500 that they put down on the principal.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay, we can say that too. That's okay. But I'm still not gonna say it's welfare fraud because at the end of the day, if I'm giving you $500 to get some food, it's on you to do what you're gonna do with that food. I mean, at some point, I mean, I get what you said.
I ain't gonna argue with it because I agree. I just want to know who's selling them because I'm buying. You know what I'm saying? I
Oh,
get it.
we can tell.
I get it.
We can tell.
I'm buying stamps all day long and strong. I don't care because at some point you can. I mean, because they already saying you can't get no shrimp, you can't get no lobster, you can't buy no chips, you can't buy no. Some states are saying you can't buy soda with the shit.
Correct.
And I'm like, okay, since y'all go so now you know how they had a $1 aisle at the grocery store, you need a food stamp aisle now. Just this is the shit I can buy or put it on one side of the store because at this point they telling this you know, you can't buy this, that, this, and another. And I'm like, here, if you give them to me, I transfer it over to some currency to buy it all. Hey, let me tell you how sick and twisted these motherfuckers done got. It used to be 50 cents on the dollar, Barry. Bro,
That was dollar for dollar.
somebody tried to sell me dollar for dollar. Boy, I told him if you don't get your punk ass on somewhere,
No, dollar for dollar.
the worst I'll go is 60 cent on the dollar. If you can't break me, you got it. What you tell him, Barry? How did he get the money? The government. The government gave it to him. I told him, look, man, you better go on. You can take this $60 for these $100 stamps, or you can get the hell on. Now, did I just admit?
You
Yes,
did.
I did. And let
Yes,
me tell you why. Can I tell you why? Because
Why?
because you are a poor school teacher.
because they playing with people who trying to do it right. Let's talk about that. When we talk about the jobs report, by the way, if you want to see this report, people that we're going to talk about here now, you have to go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. You can get it as simple as bls.org. Now, what you'll understand is you have to be a learned person to really understand the BLS. It's not given to you like snippets and shit, like no graph. It's not no whole bunch of graphs and shit for you to look at. And even if you do, they have already interpreted those graphs and given you that statistical data. It's up to you to understand what they're saying. Okay, it's up to you to understand what they're saying. And what they said was, when I looked at it as a reading person, was that Black people, okay, with multiple kids, are about to cry, cry, cry. If you a Black single person, you're going to feel it, but you're not going to feel it like these people who have done multiple births and do not have the income to support these multiple births. He shut down the housing. He refuses to do the freeze except for New York. And so what you're about to see, if you are a person who like to pop out, thank you, Brandy. If you're a person who like to pop out a baby every 10 and a half months, you are going to suffer the rate at which they are raising the food stamp allotment has been frozen. Talk about freezing some shit. It still does not match with the inflation at the counter. And so we arguing with her, but she still can't buy nothing but ramen noodles and shit with the money unless hear me now, you go to your local farmers market where they are honoring double dollar, what they call double dollar. Do you know what I mean, Brother Lee?
Yeah.
All right. So if you go to your local, you know, straight out the farm, but who want to roll down to the farmers market, right, Lee? But let me not digress. The BLS or the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they crunch the numbers. These numbers are generated from industry. Yes, Lee?
Yes.
The automotive industry, not just the Ford plant in your city. No.
All
All the
industry, non-farm, not non-farm land
all
industry.
industry. Now, and you know why they don't catch them farmers? Why they don't want to include them farmers, Lee? Call it, Lee. Why they don't want to call?
Because farm aid is white welfare, but just by another name, and they ain't trying to call them out. But keep going.
Ah, I'm telling on you. I'm telling.
Well, I would say the job numbers was horrific, but I will say this: this is why it's important for people to get out and vote. Like
Bingo.
the, the projections are so bad. When I was sitting there looking at the numbers, I was like, "What the? Is this really the job report?"
Yeah, so it was projected. Not to cut you off at the bill from where you were. We were to hit around 100 and what 15,000, no 125,000, somewhere along that line, jobs. That was supposed to be what we hit, and we wound up around 57,000. Now I say around because initially these numbers are always high, and then they're calculated, adjusted down. So when this is all said and done, I look at it. They reported 57,000. Shit, dog. I would say 38 to 42, somewhere along that line, is the actual job creation number that happened. Now, the bigger issue is there are a lot of job openings. Shitload of job openings, but nobody's hiring. That's the issue.
Goddamn Robert Barron's holding on to that money, and
Yep.
he told him, you if this is gonna work, you gotta stimulate. He shut their taxes and shit down. He massaged them, he stroked them, and them bitches still ain't putting the people in the seat. And so
Nope.
when he can't say nothing to the head of AT&T. AT&T said we suffering. He can't say shit to the airline industry. They said, but look, we losing whole fucking people, whole spirits gone, and shit like that. So he's turning to these heads of industry saying,
Sensitive
why y'all
subject.
not
Sensitive subject.
shut up. Why y'all not hiring these folks? And he don't even ask them why he not hiring niggas. He know they not. He know why they don't hire niggas. But he's saying why you not hiring none of these other folks either. And they are literally looking down and to the left, just like that, brother Barry, just like down to the left, because they will not admit to them holding on to that goddamn money like that, scared because he's an international bully and he don't know how much of that money they gonna have to sit on, like a king before the rest of the world shut us out. That's the next show. How the
No,
rest of the world is shutting us out economically.
no, I got to put this one all caps for Brother Marlon. You are absolutely right. I'm typing it as I'm speaking it. 100% correct, Brother Marlon. The issue isn't about that because they're going to use that as cover. The issue is these motherfuckers are still taking huge bonuses and they're giving stock dividend returns to their investors. That's what that's all about. These are in certain times because of the war. The market has been all over the place. Consumer confidence is down. People don't know. People being board members don't know if they're going to get a return or a bonus. So they are holding on to money in order to make sure that they get a bonus. Why are we still allowing stock buybacks? That should be illegal. A company should not be allowed to buy their stock back because the only thing it does is prop up the 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 the, the value, thank you, of that stock on the stock market, which makes the company look more healthy than what it potentially could be.
But see, this is
So
why I'm
no,
mad at your boy. I'm mad
which
at your
one?
boy Westmore. I'm mad at your boy Westmore and all them other dudes. Okay, because he in the meetings. He at them Bilderberg motherfucking conferences. He's at the dialogue conference. He's in there with the motherfuckers holding the money, bruh. He's in there and he's sitting there across the table with them big wigs holding on to that money, getting them golden parachutes, and they not putting no pressure on these niggas, bro. They not putting no they
Well,
not putting no political pressures on the heads of industries to release some of that money into the public by hiring the people.
I would say this though. I would say this. That's why the Democratic Socialist movement is taking fire the way it is in New York, because that's what Madame is talking about. Now in Minnesota, it's a little different. Our Democratic Socialist movement a little different. They talking about bathhouses. They ain't talking about taxing the rich. But in New York, they talking about, making sure that there is wealth distribution and taxing the rich. And I feel like that's a part of the conversation that is totally like being missed. Like, you got a president that's made $2 billion since he got in office. He wasn't a billionaire before he got in, but now he's really a billionaire
2.2 billion.
based off of the
He's
crypto,
now worth 2.2 billion.
off crypto and selling access to the White House. That type of thing. He's not going to say anything to these CEOs who are constantly.
He made all that money off them tennis shoes.
But people,
And Some janky ass cell phone.
that nobody got yet. But that's part of the issue. So they're not gonna check them. You got a Congress that's always on vacation more than anything else, and then you have a pissed off Senate who is saying a couple things. Hey, we don't control the purse strings, we control the law, but we can't push a law back to Congress to get them to get their act right because anything he wants to do, they gonna do, right? And so you have
Ain't they on recess already?
they are on recess again. So
And
Wasn't that a little early?
and right now they hobnobbing with the same motherfucking modern day robber barons that are squeezing this damn nation dry. They having high tea with them and mint juleps and porthouse steaks with them because they on vacation and they
That's not what
not
they doing.
even and they
That's not what they're doing. They sitting in the sweat houses trying to figure out where the fuck they gonna work at when they lose during the midterm. That's what they doing. These motherfuckers are back in their districts right now, lining up interviews with companies that will hire them as consultants. Because you know what the fuck what happens when they get kicked out. They will be consultants or board members, and they trying to negotiate salaries right now because they see a blue tsunami mountain right now because Trump has fucked them. Trump gives no shit about the Republican Party. In his mind, in my personal opinion, in his mind, he's saying, you bitches were nothing before me. You'll be nothing without me. I don't give a fuck who goes down because I ain't going to be here to take it with you. So he's like, sorry for your luck. Figure it out. He's going to make some noise, put some cats in strategic locales for him so he can continue to make money off of this government, so he can continue to get contracts for his cronies and his buddies whenever he's out of office. But other than that, he don't give a shit about the Republican Party. He is sitting back laughing because remember, it was the 80s in which he said if he ever ran for president, 80s, maybe late, early 90s, he would run as a Republican because the Democrats wouldn't have him. He said that. He said it would be easier to win as a Republican, not as a Democrat. So he is sitting back in the cut, laughing his ass off as these motherfuckers prepare to get jettisoned out of the House and out of the Senate. And he don't give two shits about them.
Well,
That's what they're doing right now. They're setting up interviews trying to figure out where the hell they're going to work at when they lose their job.
I say this, though, and I said this last year during the whole situation with Venezuela, and I'll say it again. These people are setting up their new paradise elsewhere. Similar to how after World War II, Israel was created over there inside of Palestine. They are looking at these other places to commandeer. And that's why he's talking about taking certain places like Greenland or Venezuela. These folks, they have plans. And if people are not paying attention, what they're trying to do is they're trying to create their escape hatch. Because truth of the matter is there's no way for power to be changed back over into this country and the citizens not go after these CEOs when they really see exactly how all of them have been in cahoots. Not all of them, I don't want to say all, but many of them have been in cahoots with Trump during this run. And that's kind of like the nasty part about it. That's why the jobs report is so the thing about the jobs report that I was thinking about is this is the summertime, y'all. What's supposed to happen in the summer? What's supposed to be an influx of jobs for youth, college students, etc. Because those jobs, even if they are part-time jobs, even if they're temporary jobs,
summer job,
they still go in the report. When you see numbers that low, that means that across the country there are no summer jobs. And I was speaking to someone, I forgot who it was the other day. Maybe it was Sister Leslie Jackson. Maybe it was me and her talking yesterday. And I was telling her, I said, Sister, I have an issue with the idea that I can go to McDonald's, I can go to Burger King, I can go to any of these fast food places outside of Cane's. I think Cane's and maybe Chick-fil-A may be the only two places that you can go to and find young people working. Typically, if you go to McDonald's, you go to Burger King, you go to some of these established American fast food restaurants that used to be full of youth, teenagers. Now they're adults. So where do the teens go get jobs at?
Adults working it as their second, third job, just trying to make it to provide for their family.
All right, so let's talk numbers. I'm at the report. If you guys don't mind, give me about 2 or 3 minutes. I'm
Absolutely.
literally at the report. And yes, for those, like I said, it is not typed in pretty letters. So do me a favor. Well, what they were talking about here in the report given July 2nd, 2026. Okay, July 2nd, this is current information. All right, and they said that we are stagnant mostly, that we have had no movement really in the unemployment rate, which is somewhat good in that it hasn't gotten that much worse, but it is not improving. All right, that there are 7.1 million Americans, however you want to define an American, there are 7.1 million Americans as of June who could work and should be at work, but are unable to work. Now, who are these people? Um, most adult men, be they white, black, or any ethnicity, are unemployed at a rate of 4%. Okay, so how do we listen to that? We say if it was 100 men in a room, four of them don't ain't got no job. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm doing this right.
Yeah.
All right, all right. And so, and what they're talking about for adult women is very close. If there were 100 women in the room, four of them also would have no job. All right. Now we were just talking about teenagers, and when we say teenagers, we're not talking about a 13-year-old young people. This is a jobs report. This is a jobs report. It's hey, I know my white lady words, and so a teenager would be someone between 16 and 19 in the job market, able to find their jobs. These are under Bill Clinton, your AmeriCorps Vista jobs. These are under, oh boy, your Peace Corps jobs. These are your jobs that young people, or your ROTC military-esque jobs. I don't know if they take straight teenagers, Brother Lee, but there's some youth related program for children for the military. Am I correct? Isn't that ROTC or
That's not
something?
a job program. That's actually just
There's
training
no
while you.
there's no teenage
No.
internships for the military. Oh, you know where your money's at then, Brother Lee. You heard my little nugget I just put in there. You can get them as of 13 years old. Anyway, uh, teenagers are down 15%, meaning in a room of 100 teenagers between, say 16 and 19 to 20. 15 of them don't have a job. And in my opinion, that is actually very interesting of a number. Okay. Because I expected young people to be more divested from this economy based on what they see with all this, flux we got going on, and just not try. But apparently, we got room for teenagers, but they may be needing to tweak that in the future so that our future numbers are not full of people who don't give a fuck about no job, because that's almost 20%. We knocking on 20% almost here.
No, I don't think so. Here's my thing. I don't want to make it at like it's the human aspect of it. I think that we have people behind the scenes that's trying to force an economy. And as much as they're talking about they don't want socialist ideas or socialism, they're going to have us really operating under the communism in a second. We're going to be like the Smurfs. If
The
you
word.
ever, if you
Okay,
ever want to know what communism is like, just think about watching the Smurfs as a kid.
with
And
that one lady there trying to, and then they had a baby Smurf. I said, who raped that lady? So amongst the nationalities, the numbers are kind of grim. Well, white people in general in America are going to have the lowest unemployment numbers. They coming in at about 3.6% or 4%. 100 white people in a room, only four of them wouldn't have a job. Black people are at 7% almost. And I mean, 100 people of 100 people, 100 black people, seven of them would be unemployed. Asians at 4%, Hispanics at 5%. And so what we see in this nation as it began after Reconstruction is that they don't want to hire us. And I want to say some of that is because we refuse to take we want our 15. We want our 20 for real. We want $20 an hour to be
We should.
basic. Right.
We
But
should.
we are part of we black people are a part of that leading push for a movement off of $7.50. I don't know if y'all notice. They only have to pay you $7.50.
I mean, each state has their own, but back to my point about the communism piece, they don't want people to work. What they're trying to do is give people a set amount of dollars with a set amount of ration of food, and they control everything. So when we're talking about all of this other shit that's going on out here, I just want people to understand that's the setup. That's why they're cutting so much. The flip side of it is hopefully the people push back. Hopefully people look and see what's happening and understand even those content creators. I've seen a lot of stories where people are saying, hey, Meta is holding back six-figure paychecks from content creators. And so just because you're online making a lot of posts, they're not cutting checks like that no more neither. It's becoming harder and harder to make dollars in this country. And this goes back to what I said about the hand-to-hand cash exchange. We better start getting back to hand-to-hand cash exchange, pulling money out the banks, being able to control currency ourselves, stop getting caught up in the convenience of this digital piece. Because the fact of the matter is we're going to have to learn how to create jobs and create money in a innovative way outside of what they can control. If you deal with what they can control, you're going to be controlled. And that's just what it boils down to. A lot of this, if I'm being real with y'all, is just American intellectual laziness. Because what the phone allows us to do is I ain't got to worry about going to the ATM. What the phone allows us to do is I ain't got to even worry about even swiping the card. I can just have it all right there. It's all digital. And then we're just thinking about the convenience. But Rashi, when you're talking about the food stamps, one of the things that we forgot is when it was the book food stamps, grocery stores made money off the food stamps. They made an extra 35 to 40 cents off each food stamp that you made because they had charged the government for the processing. That allowed them to have the bag boys who were at the grocery store. That's how they paid them. Once they put in EBT and they made things digital, that got rid of the bag boys. Notice as soon as EBT came, the bag boys went away. We're talking about summer jobs or jobs for youth. There you go. We just wiped out a whole bunch of young people. Then who started getting paid? Then it reversed. Now, when the grocery store charge off your EBT, they charge off of your check card. Every time you walk your happy ass down the aisle, they got to pay for you being there. Now they're paying 35 cents per transaction versus making the money. Now they're paying the money. Guess what you got to do next? Oh, Lee, now I can't afford the butcher no more. So now you ain't got no butcher shops. Guess why you ain't got no butcher shops? They can't afford to pay the butchers because of the convenience of the currency that you're using. We just have to kind of reverse some of these trends and understand that digital does not always mean what's best for everybody. She said,
Marlon said, OnlyFans shorten them checks too. Marlon, you stupid shit. Branch said, Meta started shorting them checks when black people started getting rich. And I feel that.
but just think about how everybody's online lead and their hustle now is content, right? Like this digital. Once again, every hustle is a digital hustle. So I mean, unless you a content creator for the watch out, we're gonna make sure you get paid. But I would just say,
Well, who is adding jobs? Guess what? Social assistants. I wonder why. For some strange reason, Lee, they're needing more people to help out with people who need services, from the government. Social assistants added 2,500 jobs. But guess who ain't hiring? Leisure and hospitality. I wonder why, Lee. Why would you think in
Because the
your
Canadians ain't coming. Because
it,
Trump made us look like an ass on the freaking global
come on,
stage.
Come on, brother Barry, in
That's
your
why
Yoda-like understanding, why would
manufacturing production shouldn't be
why would
hiring in.
leisure and hospitality? This America. We been everybody want people are floating over in America in trash bags. Why don't nobody want to come and lay out on our beautiful beaches, brother Barry? Why would hospitality and leisure be taking hits as far as jobs?
ICE, ICE, and human trafficking. ICE and human trafficking, because those people who will take those jobs may be kidnapped by some men in vans, and you don't know if it's the federal government or you're going to be sold over the Rio Grande, and that's just what it is between them both, and they both go right back to this government. Oh, and another thing too that I know that they didn't put in the jobs report that we're seeing less of too is because of the taxing of the supplies. Like Lee was talking about Canada with the tariffs and that stuff. We don't have people manufacturing homes neither. So now we took a dip in home manufacturing this year too, because that was another. Typically, we would get our surge around this time of people because they're building an influx of homes, but even that's down in the country right now.
Yeah, Thomas, it's compound. Again, it's the tariffs, it's the fact that he's made us look like assholes and idiots on the world stage. It's the fact that people have been turned away from America, not just because of his policies, but his projection. You know,
It's y'all. They scared of y'all. They
well,
scared of you,
no,
Lee.
no, no. It's the projection. It's the projection of, to your point, immigration, ICE, but also we don't need them, so why should we need them? Why should we come? If you're everywhere bolstering about how America will be fine, we don't need you, you need us more than we need you. Okay, fuck you then. See how you do without me, and that's what's going on. A lot of folks throughout the world have adopted the philosophy: America is not welcoming to me, so I will not go to it. And they have gone to other places. This is why
So we're
Asia.
dealing with a flux. So we're dealing with some kind of economic flux until America decides to do the work of America again. We're trying to what? Train each other or train ourselves to fulfill the engineering jobs, the medical jobs, the field migrant worker jobs, I mean we just got to think in our mind every job that is currently being held by a person who was not born, literally born within the United States of America, is open now to removal unless they are Melania motherfucking Trump. So what else? So what are we doing here? So what do we tell them? Tell America to get ready, get ready, get ready, like TD Jakes. We've been telling America. That's what Biden told them. Biden said, let's rebuild this motherfucker. And then he reached out and it was five motherfuckers with a hammer, sharing the hammer. And so what do we tell America when we say, hey, not only do we need immigrants to come here, we need you to give birth here. We need you to train your children to stay here. We don't need you to come get American education and then go back to your motherland with the talent and the understanding. What are we telling them? Who's got the message of training America? I mean, because I'll vote for that motherfucker. Who's
I,
talking about filling in the spaces? Even no Republican is even talking about filling in the spaces that they create when they do uh broad spectrum immigrant
but they
removal.
but they can't. They can't because the figurehead of the party right now has stifled that conversation from happening. They can't because they fear that his base will rise up against them and again escort them out their jobs. What they're not understanding, what they're not seeing, what they're holding on to, if you will, is that Democratic infighting will fraction the support of the Democrats and give them just enough space that they can run up the middle and still win. The Democrats really need to get this shit together before the midterm But if they don't get it together before the midterm, they damn sure need to get it together before the presidential election next year. Because if not, it's going to be bad. You know, I still believe that the Democratic tsunami is coming, and I say that because independents, Hispanics, really carry Trump across the finish line. They right now are pissed at him. He's not done enough. He's trying to pivot and do this 11th hour shit right now. This is why the America 250 is so blasting and blazing all over the place, and the reflecting pool, so on and so forth. But that does not dismiss the fact that the jet that he's flying around on now is his. It was a gift to him. He's utilizing it now while he's in office, but when he leaves office, he gets to take it. That was a part of the. It wasn't gifted to the United States of America. It was gifted to Trump. It was a gift to him directly. That does not excuse the fact that he goes in front of cameras and says, "I don't care about. I don't think about Americans and their pocketbooks." That does not. That does not excuse that fact. It does not excuse the fact that he's now worth 2.2 billion, what they be, dollars. Does not excuse that fact. And folks are scraping, trying to make ends meet, and ain't no ends to be met. Folks are struggling mightily right now. It does not excuse the fact that many folk, career professionals, have lost their jobs because of Doge, have lost their jobs because of his reckless policies. Does not excuse those facts. So those independents, those Latinos whom have been targeted through ICE, whom he has said are going to, I'm sorry, that's not true. He hasn't said, but he's put in place the fact that they ramped up workplace uh, immigration enforcement tactics. They have in very recent times. And now that the 14th Amendment has been upheld by the Supreme Court, it's going to put even more pressure on them, ICE and immigrants. What do you think is going to happen? He was embarrassed. He was mocked at the
Yeah.
Supreme Court. He thought he had every fucking right and every fucking angle covered. And when they came back and said, nope, that ain't it, that's a huge embarrassment toward this dude. We already know what he behaves like when he is cornered, when he is called out to be wrong. He behaves like a child. So do you not think that ICE is going to pick up an
Man.
enforcement at businesses?
So here's
They ain't
our
gonna fuck
thing.
with meat.
I,
They ain't gonna
I
fuck with the meat pack. Oh, let me finish. I'll let you in a couple seconds. They ain't gonna fuck with the meat packing plants though. They ain't fucking with that. They ain't gonna fuck with maybe a furniture manufacturer. Something they ain't fucking with that. They ain't gonna fuck with those huge governmental or private construction projects. They ain't gonna fuck around with that. Now they may fuck around with Kilvon Williams home building project. If he's awarded a contract and he's building 10 homes, they'll probably raid that. But they ain't gonna raid a larger home manufacturer or um, private or what am I saying? Corporate manufacturer when they building a warehouse or a corporate headquarters. They ain't fucking with them, but they will fuck with Kevon and his little 10 or 3 house home project. They gonna
they'll
do
fuck.
that.
They will fuck with the agricultural industry as well. They raid down on them all the time. One of the things that ICE has to work with is the idea of, are you a citizen or are you not? How long have you been here if you're not a citizen? What are your intentions? What has your behavior been like since you've been here? And adjacent to that idea, Brother Lee, is, were you born here, right? If you
Mm,
were born, being born in America is what keeps the ice, it's what keeps you warm in a nice icy situation. Now, one of our issues that we're having with how ICE has been doing its work is that they just round up brown. They don't care if it's Dominican Brown, Trevor Noah Brown. It could be any Brown, Maxwell Brown, just Brown, and they run it all up, and then they force you to prove your American identity, or if not American, how long have you been here? Are you supposed to be here? And what to do with you after any of that has been manifested, right? So what
Mhm.
our true scare is me and you and Barry, we don't have no argument. They don't even want to look at us. They tell us to move along and put our phone down because they know what we go are in our dialect, in our birthright, that we are American.
Okay, so let's
But
be clear about that.
but they just told over, was it like 150,000 Haitians?
Correct.
They ain't
You
got
gotta
no
go.
connection. I mean, he looks Haitian.
But they was born in Haiti. This is what I'm trying to
But,
tell you.
Rashi, here's the point though. They shoot first, ask questions after. So this
After they
ID,
deport your ass.
yeah, you be over in Haiti talking about, but I was born inside of Indiana. Okay, good
But
luck.
I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. Okay,
So
but I do want to say this, and I ain't trying to, hey, if you Haitian listening, I ain't trying to be funny, but they know too. If you let one Haitian gentleman in and he finds his way to the back door exit, you have officially let in 15 Haitian men, because that is the nature and the spirit of how they get down. If they get where, say, okay, let's talk World Cup, right? Because what we're talking about is no, hold up. We're talking about World Cup because a whole bunch of Haitians came. They had to give them, every nation's supposed to get passed to come see their World Cup or whatever. There's a certain amount of World Cup visas. What the conversation was is, nigga, your team lost, take your ass home. And they was like, we like other teams. We like Argentina too. And we want to also jump up and down for Morocco. And they was like, no, 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 take your ass home. Okay, now look, there is at least one Haitian that said, I came for the World Cup, but I got lost somewhere deep in Miami with my cousins. I'll be home when I can. Or what they're asking is for there not to be an influx. And I don't know why they just said Haiti. They could have just said everybody. There's an influx of divestment when you come to worldwide expos or sports games. There are did I say I'm happy with what they said? That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about where they drawing this sick ideology from. When people come for
Rashi,
world sports and stuff, sometimes they accidentally don't leave,
but
and,
Rashi,
and, and sometimes it ain't by accident.
but Rashi, I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna go back to 2 + 2 is 4. Now I gotta go. It's 5 minus 1 4. Because ain't that the same tactics that they use in these countries? Didn't they just take their happy ass over somewhere talking about I'm on a world tour with a hopping my man? And now they're there. And now it's more Europeans there. And then now it's a military base there. And now their military base is kind of running the town there. Go ask the people of Guam. Go ask the people of Puerto Rico who got taxation without representation. How that works.
They They send the priest first. They always send the priest first.
So they're only guarding against the things that they've done. That's the point. The other thing too is, at the end of the day, here's the truth. America was made up by immigrants. And I'm gonna go back to my opening statements. These people, Donald Trump and Stephen Miller, was not here in 1776. I don't know why the fuck they're celebrating 250 years of America, because their ancestors were not here. That's something that even black people need to know. These are not the same folks that came from France. They didn't come from England. They weren't Dutch. That's not in Donald Trump's ancestry. That motherfucker's German. He didn't get here until 1930. Okay? Same thing with goddamn Miller. His people didn't get here until they opened Ellis Island. And once we start talking to these people in their proper place, instead of allowing them to add on to a history that really don't belong to them, it don't. And so we are allowed, because of course a lot of them say, oh, well, they're all Anglo. Yeah, they're all Anglo. But let's be real. When they came over here, they were broken up into tribes they goddamn self. No different than we're broken up into tribes. So it wasn't them who came over here. They didn't bust a grape in a fruit fight in 1776. It wasn't them that they had nothing to do with the Boston Tea Party. Okay. And that's something very important that we should be explaining to all Americans. How do you sit with this sanctimonious attitude when your ass came over here as an immigrant? They let you in. You got let in. That is the conversation, because this is what they tell us every time we talk reparations. Well, my grandfather came over here in 1923 and he worked so hard because he was poor. That's what the white folks are telling you all day long. But now he came in 1923, but you celebrate 1776 like you really did something. Man, most of them white folks are dead and gone. I'm just telling y'all, most of them are dead and gone. We're dealing with people who came over here with Ellis Island. And so this idea, because now they're targeting women. If you're pregnant and you come here, now they're saying if you're a pregnant immigrant, they're targeting those people. So when folks, and this is the thing about this shit with Tariq them, and you ain't got to say we were Native American, but you can point to the fact that we were here before most of the Europeans got here inside of the 1930s. We got here in 1555, not 1619. 1555 is when we started here. And we were here long before they were thought about. And that's something that we need to hold on to, because yes, it were Black men who fought inside of the Revolutionary War. I said it again. Crispus Attucks was the one that kicked it off. What color was he?
Black.
So when we talk about this day and we talk about the Europeans, and this is very important because Stephen Miller is the Jewish guy behind the scenes who was pumping this very racist rhetoric. He wouldn't even be accepted by the neo-Nazis in America. Man, listen, if Stephen Miller, Rashi, and
him or Jared Kushner, that's right.
I'm telling you, they'll be at their ass just as fast as they at our ass.
Honestly, they wouldn't have fucked with Mike Johnson either, because he effeminate. They don't like Jews. They don't like. Okay. You understand? It's a very strict line on what you could look like and act like. That's right.
Okay, so that's the conversation, because we're constantly letting them pull this pure white shit on us. They're not considered pure whites by the folks that were here before 1930s.
Okay, here's the deal. Did y'all see the article? Okay, there was somebody who reported, because we're talking birthright, right? And because our president's all mad, like if birthright, right? Yes. But there was there's some property he owned back. They had reported on him back in 2017. That is some property he owned that he was renting out to Russian oligarchs, so that they hoes and shit or whoever they impregnated could come and give birth in America. So one, they don't get recognized by the lineage there and be able to take ownership of fuck with their family after their death. Yeah. But secondly, so that they can have a vested hold, into being able to go travel in and out of America in order to see their American child. Yeah. And so there is a actual racket I sound so, sometimes I'll be sounding so Republican. Y'all listen, I'm not Republican. I'm just telling you what happened. There's a racket where your real estate can be rented by rich people, where they can come specifically with a piece so that she could give birth in America. So, and then our president was a part of that reality, back in 2017 with a lot of property, not no one apartment, like multiple properties. So his alliance with, people from other nations has been long held. So I wonder if he's conflicted right now with trying to say, no, you motherfuckers get out. Because he don't say get out to everybody. But why don't they think we're going to be able to use this for everybody? Why we not put it? He's like, it's so dichotomous to me. Yes, South Africans, white. No, everybody else. It's so clear. But the same law can't apply to both.
But it's the Clarence Thomas effect. I got in. Let me close the door on everybody else. Oh, I know how I got in. Let me cut that off. Like the same people who benefited from the things that they're trying to cut off, right? They're closing the door on everybody else behind them and trying to wipe the record clean, so you'll never know how they rose. I didn't know until 2 weeks ago that Elon Musk wealth is all attributed to President Obama. That before Obama gave them money for Tesla, Tesla was about to be bankrupt. And they were talking about how Elon Musk was calling Obama administration begging for money. Now imagine this, a black man saved Elon Musk. But look at how he's treating black folks. Look at what Deutsch did to black people around this country. I'm just saying, listen, he begged Obama. And I'm not saying Obama did a bad thing, because Obama was looking at the future and said, okay, you got this clean car. Okay, we can get off these fossil fuels. Okay, bet. But again, we're seeing how these people made it. He made money off government subsidies. He's a trillionaire now, pretty much off of government subsidies. But what does he tell the rest of us? Oh,
point yourself up by your bootstraps.
Come on now.
All right, so let's get to it because we got a half an hour left. Let's define it. So we've been going sort of around in circles. On Tuesday, the Supreme Court confirmed that the 14th Amendment should still stand. The case was Trump versus Barber. It was a 6-3 decision. The three dissenters were Thomas, Alito, and Gorsuch. Yeah, Gorsuch. Thomas wrote a 91-page dissent. 91 pages. That's a lot of fucking hate.
All grok.
Anyhow,
that was all grok.
Yeah, it was just horrible. The concern from a lot of folks is this wasn't more unanimous or unanimous in the decision making. As I said in the comments, because someone, I can't remember if it was Marlon or someone else, said that the SCOTUS put to bed yeah, it was Marlon. SCOTUS showed him they were not willing to destroy the 14th Amendment. And my response to that is and was, that it was a fractured decision, which gives the right a wish, chance, or slither of hope that they can come at it another way and actually get it to pass, cross it over the finish line. This should not have been a splinter decision. This was and is a clear cut case. The 14th Amendment was extremely explicit. It even covered Japanese born children in internment camps at the height of World War II. They were automatically U.S. citizens. I don't understand what makes it more difficult than that. But this was an in and around at challenging the birthright of Black Americans in America. That's what the fuck it was. Because the 14th Amendment was all about giving the descendants of slaves full citizenship in the United States of America.
Yeah.
That's what it was all about.
But man, can you
And
imagine if you had to pay a reparations bill? I'd do something too. Hell, I get to redefining what a human was. If I was ready to look down the long pipe of what I owed down for 400 plus years of subjugation and running, my guy, I would tap dance on the motherfucking devil's lungs in order to figure out something. And yes, you're right, Lee. This is one of them tap dances. Who should be here? Who was born here? Because if we talking birthright, this is what they finna fuck up with. We talking birthright. Don't let them natives talk no birthright. Don't let the whole doctrine that they trying to run game on us get adopted for the sovereign nation of the five core nations with the other 65 subsections up under it. Then they got to get the fuck out. And then now they got to renegotiate the plans that they made with the natives of this country in order to even call it a goddamn America. So so they playing with some for real law. Because if you start talking about who was born here, and you can't start since pre 17, you can't start what you say, Thomas, 1550. If you ain't got no 1550, then or pre 1550, then shut up. So the natives told us you can't own land, right? You can't own it. You can live on it for a while. You can eat off of it. You can dig all in it and take some shit out and wear it on your neck. But in the end, the land owns you. In the end, the actual terra firma, you came from it. All your damn atoms and quarks and creekrons came from the land. You go back to the land. You go back to the land. And so all of this is some fucking subterfuge, right? That's what the natives said. And then so then they had to say, okay, well, here then your little piece of land. We moved them over there. And then they started America. 250 years of what is this piece of land? And it's beautiful, y'all. Can we just give a moment out to say that if you're gonna steal something, this was a prime piece of stolen property. Like it is so beautiful. Have y'all you've done America, Lee, right?
Yeah,
You've been from sea to shining sea, yes?
for the most part, I got 6 states still to
From the
do.
redwood forest. Come on. Brenda. Okay, anyway. So you've seen it, right, Brother Barry? You've seen this piece of stolen land, right?
Yeah, I seen.
So if you gonna do some bullshit on integrate, you this is be worth stealing, yeah.
Well,
It's
I
worth
mean,
stealing. So what we want
I-
is this stolen land to normalize. We want to say, okay, we here. Don't
Okay.
start kicking motherfuckers off the island.
what?
Just let's make it what they said, what the natives said, not what the forefathers said, whatever that bullshit was. Make it what the natives said. The natives said what?
Well,
Honor her,
well, I
love
think,
her.
well, I mean, if we go into what they're basing it off of, they are trying to rewrite the Constitution. That's what this boils down to,
Yep.
which is supposed to govern everything, which means that they're breaking the law. And even the Supreme Court, they are misinterpreting the Constitution on purpose. Oh, by the way, they slipped in that Alito will be retiring, but that's supposed to be an accident because
Him
we
and
were
Thomas. Him and Thomas Clarence finna go.
no. Alito, a letter, a notice was sent out on accident about him retiring,
I
and
didn't see
so
that.
yeah, and
Yeah,
so
NPR accidentally did it. But look, they
no, no,
named
no,
them.
no, 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 no. NPR received it. They didn't accidentally do it. Just like how Jack Smith's information got leaked from the DOJ to his prosecutors on accident. None of this stuff that this administration does is by accident. Because
That makes me sad.
because Trump was just talking a few months ago about how he wanted to make sure that the Republicans wasn't done similar to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And he's been talking that. So that means that there's been conversation behind the scenes to push Alito out. And so I say all that to say, look, y'all, you can't go off of these crazy folks. Because if you're really watching what's happening in real time, the first thing is that the country is about tired of Israel at this point. And it's not just the
Yep.
left, it's the right too. And if they look and these poor white folks look up and they see, man, Trump got $4 billion, Kushner got $6 billion, Stephen Miller's walking out with a bunch of money, and Israel getting more billions, they're not going to be happy. As a matter of fact, I'm going to quote Nick Fuentes. Y'all know Nick Fuentes, old racist Nick.
Oh
Nick
shit!
said,
Let me hold on to this. Let me get my cape
Nick
for
said,
this.
Nick said, I might as well become a Democrat because at least with the Democrats, they come in giving shit. The Republicans, all they do is take. He said, what do we get for the vote? We haven't got nothing that they promised us. They've taken.
Yeah, they
He
did.
said,
That's
oh,
a lie. Yeah, they
no,
did.
Rashi, you got to hear what he's saying. Because he said Obama gave you Obamacare. What has Trump given us? No, giving the rich. Nick Fuentes he's not Jeff Bezos. Nick is saying, hey, I ain't got nothing for my vote. Poor white people ain't got nothing for our vote. What do we get? You telling me, you kicked out all of these immigrants. Okay, well, who the fuck want to work?
That's what they got.
Okay, so Nick Fuentes is asking, who wants those jobs anyway? How are you benefiting me? What are you going to leave me? I don't want to be your servant for forever. So Nick said, hey, don't get mad at me. because I'm looking at the Democrats saying, hey, at least they're giving their people something. You're coming in talking about taking everything. We haven't received anything yet. And I'm saying that to say, if we sit back and just listen to what the right is saying, a lot of these guys that were pro-Trump, they're ready to jump ship because they're aware of seeing what's at the end of this rainbow. Oh shit, at the end, the car does go off the road.
And it takes me with it, but the driver's going to veer off.
Be dead on
With a parachute. With a parachute, right? Okay. So what I'm saying to people is this is a good time, y'all, to really like listen, because what we might find out is there's more people in this country right now in agreement than disagreement. The disagreement starts when you start doing weird shit like what we had here this week. When you have a governor and attorney general who pardoned a sex offender because they didn't want him to be deported. And once again, he raped a child, a minor. So now you rally, and now it looks like the right is right. Y'all get what I'm saying? The Democrats can't go out and do weird shit where everybody's looking at it like, I don't think that was a smart move. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We got to be able to say, no, because the people on the right are starting to see it. Oh, we ain't getting shit out of this. And then we have to say, yeah, y'all ain't getting nothing, and y'all fuck the country up. Can y'all sit down and shut the fuck up and let us go ahead and take this over?
And fix it.
And fix it. Because y'all don't know what y'all doing. Because I wrote down the notes. It's going to take 30 years for America to come out of this situation. That's one point. Second point is that if you call yourself a Republican, that is a damaged brand. Because the Republicans are going to go down in the annals of history as traitors. They are. When this is all over, they're going to say they got played by the Russians and they got played by the Israelis. That's what they're going to say. They may not say the Israelis full sentence, but it will always be whispered.
Do you think they ever said they got played by Trump?
They will. Nope. Because they're going to look at the fact that
they're already saying it. That's what Marjorie Taylor Greene said.
They're going to look at it from this aspect that you have the Congress that's in control of the purse. You have the Senate that's in control of the law. Trump is just one branch. The whole party sold out. It's the entire party. So it's the Republicans. And the last thing is that if you call yourself conservative anywhere in the world after this, you won't win an election. You might get stoned. You may literally get stoned in some of these countries after this is over with. And the reason being is, look at what happened in the UK. Look at their conservative faction. Look at France. Look at Germany. Look through all Europe and ask yourself, where can you find a conservative? You got to go all the way to Israel to find conservatives. And guess what? They don't want Bibi there either.
They really don't. They need Bibi not going. When they put him back in that chair, I sat there and cried a small. When they de-seated him, I actually went out for wine and crumpets. But when I saw they put that motherfucker back in that chair, I knew that was America. As long as America exists, Bibi will be in the chair. They took him out the chair and we put him back in. There is no other. That is.
As long as there's a threat of war, because he's the guy that makes them feel like they can sleep at night. And that's the part that people don't get. And that's why he keeps starting these wars. So I say that to say it's going to take some time. And I will tell y'all, it's going to take a black face to get America back going. I don't care what no one else is telling you. Nami Smart.
Let's talk.
It's going to take a black face because truth of the matter is.
You think Ramaswamy coming? You think Ramaswamy going to do it? Who? I mean, my Dalati.
No.
Zofran Adamalami.
No. It's going to take
Westmore.
It's going to take. It could be West, but it's going to take somebody that's going to be able to. That's going to have to be able to have world appeal.
Westmore.
That folks don't see connected to all.
Why y'all doing Gavin like that? He said he progressive. He said he got that fire.
Well, hey, listen. I mean, look, I'm not knocking Gavin. I'm not knocking none of the candidates.
Gavin scares white folks with money because California has a high tax rate. Westmore can skirt that line because Maryland, though it is a blue state, tends to be a progressive state. You still have to appease your money base.
Okay.
There's a lot of
All right,
fucking
I'll
money
take
in
it.
here. This
It's
is a lot of fucking.
the
It's a lot.
more Abrams ticket. Okay, okay. It's no, I know it's
It's
got
a
to be a
lot.
white man. I know it's got to be a white man. They won't let him in
No,
there without a white dude. Okay, the more Newsom, he won't take VP. Newsom ain't gonna take VP.
Nope. It's gonna be a female VP this time.
yep, it's going to be a female VT.
You're gonna need a female VP, and the reason why you're
It's
gonna need
going
a
to be a
female,
white woman,
I don't know if it's gonna be a white woman.
What white
or it could be a
woman?
Latino woman. It'll
What
either
white
be a
woman?
white
Oh,
woman,
oh,
Latino
Might
woman.
be a white woman with a taco.
It
the
will
more
not be.
Cortez. No,
Might
they'll
be a
do
It
white
that.
will.
woman with a taco. You're right. So
Yeah, it will not be an all black ticket because that too fears America.
They
But it's
don't
going
fuck with
to
white
have
lady.
to be.
They don't fuck with white
It's
women
going.
like that. No, 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 sir. It might be a
It's going.
Mexican man. Ooh, a Mexican man.
no,
It's going to have to be. It's going to
I mean, I'm
have
sorry,
to
a
be.
Latino man.
It's going to have to be a black person. You are absolutely right,
it
because
is.
the world is going to need to see that America is willing to change,
And, and,
and
and
that person is going to have to go
Oh,
around the world
Bernard, don't be
on
like that.
an apology tour for at least the first 4 years in order to get us
That nigga
even
said an
closer.
apology tour. What
it,
does an
Right.
American apology tour look like?
it
Come
will.
on, bro. I'm
You know,
down.
No, it will. It will be. No,
That's a
Leah's right.
Drewski skit.
No, Leah's
you
right.
know, in order to get us even close back to zero, it's going to need to be a huge apology tour. We'll need to renegotiate with our allies about our military presence and our
Trade.
contributions to the security of the world, be it not only in Europe, but also in the Pacific. Australia is going to need to have we need to have a serious conversation with Australia, the Philippines, and New Zealand. Um, Guam is our territory, so we really need to talk to them. We're going to need to talk to the Japanese because we're going to need to slow them motherfuckers down because they are going to be mad worried about the Chinese and what the Chinese have been able to do under
Man, they
Trump.
better do something
And
about them
then
damn radioactive fish we been eating.
and then we'll be able to do in that second term, because the person will more than likely get reelected for a second term. What we'll need to do in the second term is build back the strength of America, not only militarily, that needs to be second place, but it needs to really be a 1-2 punch with the home front. We really need to talk about investing
Internal
in these
industry.
children.
That's right.
Yep, investing in these children, getting
That's
trades
right.
back in school,
Oh man, you
getting
sound like motherfucking
getting
Booker
hammer,
T. Washington.
hammer and screwdriver jobs, wrench jobs, whatever the hell you want to
Cast
call them,
down they bucket,
so,
huh?
so that these cats can rebuild our infrastructure. Because we do really need to modernize our airports. We need to modernize our rail system. If you notice, the Bright Line in not California, in Florida, is talking about declaring bankruptcy, and it's not because of ridership. It's just not profitable. Why is it not profitable? Because we are, as Americans, we are stuck on gasoline, diesel fuel, and we want to drive every place we need to go. We are not that anymore. We literally cannot afford for everybody and their mama to hop in the car and drive every place they want to go. We literally cannot afford that anymore. It's
When the
not just
last
for
time
the
you been on
environment.
the bus, Lee?
I think the last time I was on the bus was when
Barry.
I was home in Baltimore, so that would be a couple of months ago.
Barry, when the last time you did public transport?
I think I was in Vegas.
Mm.
Yeah, but the issue isn't that the issue isn't public transport. The issue is the consistency and the quality of our public transport. You know, Europeans, Asians, everybody does public transportation except for us.
My
We
bad,
are
right?
the absolute
LA.
worst.
I was in Los Angeles. We had to catch the shuttle. But you're right, Lee. But let me add this part. Let me add this caveat into it too. The other aspect of it is because of the trade deficit and what he's done to the dollar.
Yep.
The damaging of the dollar is the biggest thing. And you're gonna to have somebody to appease to it. Now, I know I was reading Jamar's comment and he was saying Obama, but he said they won't have, they talked about Harris. I'll keep saying this about uh that lady. She takes such a beating. Part of the reason is because a lot of y'all started calling Joe Biden Uncle Joe. And that's why people don't want to look at what the Biden administration did to Kamala Harris. She was capable and they made her out to be feeble and stupid. That's not on her. The vice president serves at the will of the president. Before the second election, they hid Kamala Harris. They wouldn't allow her to talk in press. They wouldn't allow her to do a lot of things that they would have given other vice presidents to do. Matter of fact, JD Vance has seen more than Kamala Harris. And that was on the Biden administration. We do need more Supreme Court justices. I agree with that. That's something else. But I will tell y'all, it's going to be Democrats are going to have control of this country for the next 16 years. 8 and 8. It's going
I
to
don't
be.
know about that. I'm concerned about that.
I'm going to tell
I'm
you
concerned.
what.
I'm listening.
It's going to be 16 years, but what's going to break it is in that 12th year. That's when things are
That's
going
why.
to
That's
turn.
why I'm at with it.
Because what's going to happen is, and this is why I say what's happening inside of New York with the DSAs is a lot different than what's happening in Minneapolis with the DSAs. The DSAs in New York, they're talking about leveling out the economy, free health care for all. They're talking about free Head Start and daycare for all. They're talking
Sound
about
like reparations to me, Brother Barry.
no, that's not reparations. That ain't reparations. Our reparations is, we go back to Article of 15. No, we asked for something totally different. We asked to be left the F alone and to have all that thing free of them. That's what our reparations, if we really went by what we asked for compared to what we're talking about today. But what I'm saying is, with the DSAs here, they have a different focus, Lee. They're not focusing on making sure the rich pays more. They're not focusing on stabilizing rent. They're not focusing on making sure that that there's health care for all, or that they are talking about rent stabilization, or making sure that private corporate equity firms can't buy up all the land. That's the shift. Can you get both sides of, because even the DSAs are different. I'm just telling you, in New York, they're talking one thing. In the Midwest, they're saying something different. In the Midwest, I will be honest, it's more about the LGBTQ side of the DSA party. Inside of inside of New York is more about the socialist side of the party. Are they going to have that meeting of the minds to say that, hey, the country will move, but if we focus too much on the trans conversation, we're going to lose everybody again. And that's something that we got to be adult about. The rest of the country don't want to have that. They don't want to have that conversation. And if you force it upon them, because remember, that's what got the Republicans in.
So
Do y'all know the name? Hold on, before we move on, I want to ask you.
we got 8 minutes, so we
I
need to
know.
make.
I'm asking Barry real quick. Do you know the name, Barry? You know when you do legislation or you do a budget and you put some stuff in there, but it ain't marked out clearly in the budget. It's like a subsection of the budget. Like it's akin to what you just said when you can't tell everybody the whole plan because it'll uproot the mission. So you have to tell them some part of the plan so that the sub part of the plan happens without people being fully cognizant of what is going on. All right, so it's a budget thing. Is it called earmarking? It's something where you write into a it's earmarking. It's got a lot of names, but it's an overall budget that has that substructure within it, right, Brother Barry? And that so you can get shit done like my brother's keeper, my sister's keeper, within a budget without people saying, he giving money to little urbanites. So that's kind of what has happened legislatively. If you hear that earmark, thank you, Brother Bernard.
All right. So what I wanted to hit on, because you said something that was important. So this week too, the Supreme Court voted on transgenders in sports, and they specifically called out transgender women in sports, saying that the sanctity of, I'm surmising, the sanctity of sports was sacred, and you should not have transgender women participating with what is it, cis women, whatever, traditional women, trad women. There you go, trad women, because it's basically it's unfair. Now
Bio
we
women.
understand that this.
Bio, not trad women, bio women.
Okay. Um, we understand that this is a huge push, specifically in the South, about transgender rights. This has opened up a can of worms about transgenders and their rights moving forward. I guarantee you that one decision will be used to justify almost anything and everything. So buckle up. Democrats, don't be stupid and don't fall for the fucking booby trap. Do not fall for the booby trap. Those in the LGBTQ plus community. Dog, right now, it's bigger fucking fish to fry. It's bigger fucking fish to fry. I understand. I feel you. This ain't the time. This is not the time. This is not the fucking time. Your time will come. This ain't it. Respectfully, this ain't it. We cannot afford to lose this country because folks get stuck on this one issue. It's no disrespect to you, your choices. This ain't the time. This country is too splintered for us to lose because of an issue. We got to win the war. We got to win the war. The battles will be won along the way. That's all I had to say. Thomas, what you got? Close it out.
Well, for me, I do want to say this, y'all. I don't even think that the transgenders mostly are talking about this. I think that this is just scary heterosexual Republicans who probably like trans porn, as that clip I put up by Thomas Massey. But with that being said, y'all, we are in a battle here in the Twin Cities, and we're battling based off of heritage homes. And if you live in Minneapolis, I want you guys to tap into this conversation. It was a consent decree that was created in the 1990s called the Home Decree, which guaranteed Black Americans, African Americans, quality housing and a certain type of housing throughout the Twin Cities. The city has violated that decree and have been violating that decree, and it starts over at Heritage Homes. Tap in that you can make a lot of assumptions on the outside. I've seen people saying, "Hey, you guys should be mad at McCormick." Nope. McCormick was right there in Missouri. They got sued by the AG in Missouri for doing the exact same thing in Minnesota, which means that the AG in Minnesota has dropped the ball. Also means that the city in Minneapolis dropped the ball, which also means that the county dropped the ball. With that being said, look, we got way too many homeless Black folks. We got way too many young Black people who are trying to get housing in the Twin Cities that can't find housing. If we don't fight this fight collectively, we're going to lose a generation of rights that our children should have. They should have an easier time finding housing than we did when we were their age, but they're finding a harder time. So tap in and get involved.
All right, brother Ellison, get it together. Get it together. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. I will have that conversation with you. Get it together. We need to get it right back there in the Twin Cities. All right, Sister Rashi, what you got?
All right. Well, we are in celebration. United States of America. You're supposed to be happy with the fact that there is something that we can fix, right? We're not without our compromise. We have done sovereignty within our nation. We know how to be amongst each other. We know because we figured out how to disenfranchise Native Americans just enough to where they were able to exist within a new nation. Then we went and as a nation, got other nations and came and brought them here to work. And so I'm hoping that in the future, I'm, I- I'm hoping that in the future we are able we are able to exist as one nation, not with a splintered identity, but with an identitive, because there's divisive and then there's cumulative. What America is supposed to do is accumulate the identities of other nations within so that we enrich our minds and cultures and we are able to understand the world and be a peace force within that world. Now, whether or not we have been able to do those such things is a coin toss, right? But but the idea is it's war here in Kansas City, by the way. But the idea here is that America is here to analyze what had happened was see what was wrong, try to fix it within the population of people they're dealing with. Globally, make sure that as they accept the world, they accept the world on the right premise. We're not taking you to make America worse. We're taking the rest of the world because in the place where you're in, it's not so good. What we probably fucked it up. So we're gonna take you in, Vietnam. We're gonna take you in East and West Africa because we know we fucked you up. We're gonna take you in Guam. We know we fucked it up, Virgin Islands, Jamaica. So we're gonna take you in. But here's the problem, Lee. We don't condition America to deal with it. So America, condition yourself for the world. That's what the World Cup should do for us, and I'm glad we're able to do it. Thank you.
All right, so I'll end with these words, and please take your time, look it up yourself, read it. It's a brilliant speech. What to the Slave is the 4th of July by Frederick Douglass. That is a brilliant speech that he delivered on July 5th. I just need you all to take a look at that, get into it, read it, and understand it. What to the Slave is the 4th of July is the name of the speech, and it is brilliant. Please, you all, be kind, be safe. If no one's told you they love you, we do. And a damn thing you can do about it. Until next week, family,